absolutely buzzing to see who could potentially come through, because there are a number of players you could make a case for that could potentially go on a good run here. I'm also very envious I'm not playing myself. It's been absolutely brilliant to see the setup. Didn't have all that nice an angle on that pink. Had to try and punch that cue ball across. Now this red thinner than Oliver would have liked it. Not only does he have to keep one eye on the pot, he's looking for an angle for his next red. Well, there may be no way through for Faisal to get to this red direct, so you can see big swerve coming up. And he's played it well. He's got the red off the table. But he's not nice on his next colour. He'll just be potting it for points. So it's just the patient game for Oliver Lines now. You can see he's just biding his time. Fully expects in a moment or two his opponent to take one on, possibly now. Red to middle. Should he not get it, may leave the winning chance available for Oliver. So big shot coming up for Faisal. Yeah, and again, just a shot too big. So the chance now presents itself to Oliver.
Yeah, already 38 in front, so a good chance if he can just control things here. If he does come through, it seems likely. It'd be interesting what he feels about this performance. Obviously looking to win any match he play, but he would feel certainly he would have to improve against Ben Wollaston.
Yeah, but what he'll definitely take is it's a game under his belt. He's played out there in the arena. Ben won't have had a match. That will play to his advantage. Just got to try and keep his discipline, Oliver. It's not been a performance to remember so far. Just got to try and get the job done here, try and find something in this last frame and a half.
Well, it's a good chance that it's gone begging. I think sometimes, though, you know, if you're not put under pressure, you can do see it, players just lose a bit of focus, really, not quite as intense as they should be. The one way that could change is if Faisal Bahashwan produce some sort of clearance here.
Yeah, looking at the red along the baulk cushion, no value whatsoever there. I'd be more inclined to try and float this red into the middle pocket, albeit a very acute angle. These are never easy. So tough, even when you're right behind them. Well, that's a brilliant pot from Faisal. They are not easy, I can assure you. Played it confidently. Now, can he see off this blue? Just float the cue ball down, drift past the pink and red. 2 cushions, possibly. Well, he's gone the 1 cushion route and he's played it nicely. He needs that cue ball to run. A little bit lower than he would have liked, but it's still a chance.
11.
See him there just doing the maths. He's okay points wise, just needs to try and control this cue ball, not only pot the red, but how does he get nice on a colour? Yeah, the middle pocket was always in play, you could see, and he was aware of that. Didn't like it.
Even so, it's a closer frame, this. It's not as if Oliver Lyons has, you know, a couple of baulk colours on cushions. He doesn't, so danger for him hasn't quite passed yet.
Well, a costly safety error. Not only has the cue ball gone in, but he's pushed both reds up into the baulk area, into the top half of the table. So Oliver now already 37 to the good. This third frame is all but over.
The treble, is it? That should end that. So again, really, the same story. Didn't sort of kill it off cleanly, but eventually enough chances came along, and he'll be determined to win the last as well. The next, I should say, to make it the last and get the match out of the way. Really, all you're trying to do ultimately is play better than your opponent and therefore beat them. And so far, that's what's happening.
Again, it's worth remembering and keeping in the forefront of your mind, watching on, that these short sprints, best of sevens, are hard enough at the best of times. Never mind when there's incredible amount of prize money at stake. Prize money equals pounds, pounds equal ranking points. That's what these guys are playing for. Oliver, at the start of a 2-year tour card again, wants to try and do as much damage this week as possible.
Yes, and there's been so much build-up and anticipation for this event. You know, that is going to transfer, certainly, in terms of nerves from the players early on. But Lines can relax into the event if he does win this match, as seems likely now. His opponent has had chances, but it is Oliver Lines. One from a whitewash win. He leads here 3-0. Well, there are 8 tables here at the Saudi Arabia Masters, and because we saw the players being introduced at the start, the action well and truly. Leeds here in Yorkshire is poised to book his place in round 2. He leads 3-0. Made an 82 break in the first frame, although he had made a few errors before that. Overall, even though he can play a lot better, he's been the better player. Now, has he covered this one? A bit fortunate if he has.
Yeah, because not only was it fortunate to cover the red, it meant that Faisal then had to try and find a good safety shot himself to cover the red, which he hasn't. You can see there the disappointment. It was always going to be a tall order to get that cue ball perfectly into baulk, cover this red, but it hasn't made the difference. Another miss from Oliver. He won't be pleased at all with his performance so far today, albeit he's winning 3-0. Now it's about getting the job done for him and back to the practice table. Just put in a few more hours with this new cue. He'll definitely need to up it going forward. Well, it was a good pot, and it was an even better flick. He's hit the black, gone through the reds, and has landed perfectly on this pink to middle.
Remember tonight there's a 14-year-old Saudi wildcard, Ziad Al-Kabani. He's playing the veteran 17-year-old Stan Moody, so that'll be very interesting last up tonight. Ben Mertens of Belgium next on this table.
And how good will that be for Ziad Al-Kabani? You know, at 14 years of age, to even have the opportunity to be playing in this sort of event is an incredible moment for him.
Yeah, I mentioned Ding earlier, and actually he first played in 2002 China Open as a wild card. He was only 14 and he played a teenager by the name of Mark Selby, who went on to have a half-decent career.
Yeah, I vaguely know the name.
Yeah, Mark will be, of course, coming in the last 32 round, as indeed will Ding.
Again, Oliver just stalking his opponent here, just biding his time, remaining patient. It's very easy to just go for rash shots at times when you don't feel like you're going to be punished. It's important that Oliver doesn't do that. Try and still play the proper shots, the correct shot. Well, that was a nice pot from Faisal, but he's going to need to follow it up with another good one on this black. The pot may be easy enough to just drop in, but if he's going to try and get out for a red, it's very missable. Yeah, and it made the difference now. Where's it going to finish? Oliver would like that black to pull up in open play, and it has done. So chance, a real good chance now for the man from Leeds to get this match won.
Yeah, and I always think if you can end a match nicely with a nice break, that just sends you off feeling a bit more chipper about things than when you've just had to sort of scrap over the line. Mentioned earlier, last few years we've seen various players come from the lower reaches of the rankings and get to finals. Win Thomas, Jordan Brown did it, Fang Zhengyi, Martin O'Donnell last season was runner-up in Wales. Oliver Lyons is definitely on that list. He's got the gift to do that, but it's just putting it together round after round. And as Stephen said, keeping that self-belief as well when things aren't going so good. Digging in.
Yeah, and it's the way the modern game is played now. 90%, if not more, is played between the ears, and almost what you're telling yourself out there. There's a lot worse players than Oliver playing snooker, not on the tour, but in general, you know, that think they're a lot better than they possibly are. And, you know, just that thought process is enough to win you matches at the best of times, whereas Oliver, as good as he is, doesn't necessarily believe it himself, which in a way can sort of restrict him. I can assure you, seeing how he practices is quite unbelievable. There really isn't many players on the tour in the world that go to the Northern Snooker Centre and beat Oliver in practice, and that tells you everything you need to know. So a couple of reds detached from the little cluster beneath the pink that may be available to Oliver. If not, he's always got that option of the red up near the blue. Well, took the chance to go into them there, made the pot missable. It's more difficult playing it that way. Can't blame him for taking that option on. Just the execution again. He's been quite fortunate, Oliver, as well, not to leave anything easier for Faisal. Maybe time for him now to just take his medicine, try and play a good safety shot. It's not always about coming to the table and trying to find a pot, trying to pot your way out of trouble. He's got the option here to ask Oliver the question, leave him on the baulk cushion. Well, he's gone for a very high tariff red to green pocket there. It wasn't the correct shot, in my opinion. He may have been better off trying to land this cue ball on this top cushion tight.
Yeah, not easy, of course, but sort of similar to the pattern of the three frames where there've been mistakes from lines, but they haven't been punished. So another chance here to try and get this one, put himself into round 2, a meeting with Ben Wollaston. And as I said earlier, Wollaston did beat him in qualifying for the Wuhan Open a few weeks ago, back in Leicester.
I think as well, though, that getting this first win under your belt is important in any event. You start to feel a part of the tournament. You know, Oliver, if he converts this chance, which he may well do here, he's got those ranking points on the board, just guaranteed in the pot almost. Chance to kick on as well. You know, he's very much a confidence player. He'll feel good about the fact that he's won this match and he's got the ranking points. The performance is something that can be addressed on the practice table, but he's won the game, and that's the most important thing. If he converts this chance, of course.
Yeah, and you would expect more intensity, of course, playing Wollaston. Of course, it's all been a learning experience for his opponent here, Faisal Bahashwan, one of 7 Saudi wildcards. Obviously a big step up in standard. He's playing a top professional, he's playing in these tour conditions, but what a proud moment just to come and represent his country as they host their first ever ranking event. Okay, not the result he wanted, but plenty to go away and build on.
Yeah, and I really hope that Faisal is taking the opportunity here, even though he's sat in his chair, to just take a look at Oliver and, you know, as well as all the other wild cards, you know, take a look at their opponent. How do they go about their business, their demeanour around the table, their attitude when they're playing, their technique, all these things. They want to be taking notes on, just looking at how they operate, these guys. Because sometimes it's not always about the performance, it's about getting the job done, and you don't have to play well to win. They can learn a lot from watching these best players, seeing how it's done.
Yeah, Bahashwan has certainly attacked, but it just hasn't been finding his target enough. And time seriously running out now, because this red is match ball for Oliver Lines. So 143 matches will be played here in Riyadh over the 9 days, and Oliver Lines is going to win the first of them. Well, there, the handshake coming in, 54, the difference with 35 on. So Oliver Lyons will admit, I'm sure, he didn't play his best. The truth is he didn't have to. It was always a tall order for his opponent. But it is Oliver Lyons. He'll be satisfied to get the win. He'll take on Ben Wollaston next. He's beaten Faisal Bahashwan by 4 frames to 0. Let's go to the studio and we can join Radzi.
Well, thank you very much indeed. And Ken, we have just witnessed history, the first ever victory, the first ever match played here in Saudi Arabia as a ranking snooker tournament.
Yeah, and a good start for Ollie Lyons. But yeah, it's been great so far. I mean, the setup, you know, the opening ceremony was fantastic. National anthem, all the players out there. I think all the players, and as I said before, I mean, here we're in the hive of activity. Wonderful practice room. All the players are really enjoying it. They're all excited. There's a big sort of feel-good factor about this tournament.
Just a word on this practice room, by the way. This is genuinely fantastic. We arrived this morning and you thought, oh, this is a bit of all right.
Yeah, it's top quality. And to be honest, you can't get a time. You can't get any practice because it's all booked up. There's so many players playing. But I think that, you know, it's creating a great atmosphere, creating great excitement. And of course, we've talked about the prize money on offer. It's a huge tournament.
It really is. 144 players is obviously the reminder, and the nature of that, a lot of these players want to arrive, and obviously we've got the man who's made history here, the first ever winner here of the Saudi Masters snooker event. How was it for yourself?
It was nice, obviously, to play in the main TV first game up in the tournament. I struggled quite a lot, but I won, so I can improve.
Well, funnily enough, Stephen said in commentary, actually, sometimes it's just about getting the job done. And actually, this season, opportunity for redemption, and you've gotten across the line.
Yeah, I've got a new cue. I've only had it a few days, and I thought I was getting used to it. And obviously, when you get in the main arena and the conditions are so nice, I felt like it was throwing more than, or throwing less than I'm used to. So I need to book some practice today and try and work on that.
Well, here's one question is that we've got Chris Henry here, and he loves getting nerdy about snooker, as do I. It's a very hot outside, over 40 degrees. It's very cool in here. This is a new cue. Does that affect the actual what you're using?
I'm not sure. I might have to ask Chris.
Speak to Chris.
Yeah. How were the conditions, though? I mean, how was it? Was the table playing nice? It looked like it was running quite well.
I was really reactive. I think that's what was catching me out. I was overscrewing, underscrewing, and then you start hitting the ball too soft and things like that. So I've obviously got things to work on, but I'm still in.
Well, it's great to get a match under your belt. You know, you're in the second round. We're just talking about the opportunities, you know, for the players such as yourself, you know, that this could be a life-changing week. If you get on a little bit of a run, get a bit of confidence, win a few matches, it could be a life-changing week for you and the likes of the rest of the tour.
Yeah, obviously best of 7, I think, helps everybody really. It's more of a leveler, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could lose to anyone in a best of 7, I think, personally, but yeah, it's an opportunity for everybody to go earn a lot of money this week.
We're talking about that you turned professional 2014, 10 years ago. You were not 14 years of age. And actually, it's the right-hand side of the camera there is the man in question, 14 years of age, currently getting practice. What will be going through his mind? When I was 14, I was playing TIG, yet here he is, one of the biggest snooker tournaments in the world.
I think probably not much. You'll just be excited, nervous maybe. I don't think you really think about much when you're that age. You're just buzzing to be in the tournament.
Yeah. And I think it's just a wonderful opportunity, you know, to be able to give a young 14-year-old an opportunity, you know, to play on the big stage, play on the TV, how exciting and how inspirational it could be for him as well.
It's nice because he's got a good draw. Obviously, he's playing Stan, and he's obviously young himself.
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity for both of them to go out there and showcase the talents, really.
So now for yourself, 4,000 ranking points, obviously cash as well. What do you do between now and the next match?
Practice. I've got a lot of things to work on after that, so I'm going to try and hang about and nick some practice here today.
And just finally, where is your head at right now? Is it about going deep in this tournament, or is it a case of just one match at a time?
Obviously, you want to go deep, and it's in the back of your mind, but I just want to improve. I feel like I've been struggling for a while, and I just want to get better in each match, really, and then you never know how far you can go.
What's the difference between Ollie Lyons now and maybe going that little bit further? Is it just confidence?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, when you're playing the qualifying, then you have to wait ages to obviously play your next round, and I feel like then you're always starting again. Whereas here, you can go one match, and you just never know. If you can get on a roll, it'd be tough to stop.
Your dad watching at home, I presume he is.
I think he'll be at the snooker club, but yeah, he'll be watching somewhere.
Well, Ollie, congratulations. You've made history. First match done and dusted. We'll see this man again. But as for us here, the action will be very much continuing. As you can see, all the players getting their practice in, because 8 tables means the action is non-stop all day.
Squeeze a bit of practice, throw one of these lads off the table. Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes, I'll be happy.
So the thing is, this man's really earning his money, because you're going from here to commentating on the Ben match.
Yeah.
So then when's this practice going to happen?
Well, probably after this next match, I presume.
We're looking forward to that. But again, we're going to see more players going out there. This season is kicking off, the early part of the season, with an absolute corker of a tournament.
Yeah. And I like this match next coming up. Ben Mertens from Belgium, of course. One of 3 Belgians on the tour. But he's a young and up-and-coming young player, very talented player, very quick scorer, good long putter, and he's got a great temperament as well. So one to watch for the future, but maybe he might cause a little bit of a storm this week as well.
Interestingly, talking about Belgium, just the last couple of years, because of one Luca Brissell, the momentum there just seems to be exponential.
Yeah, Julian Leclerc, of course, is involved as well, another very talented left-hander as well. What a putter he is, great to watch. But yeah, of course, because of Luca's exploits and win the World Championship, but there's also an undercurrent throughout Europe, but particularly in Belgium now as well. It'd be great to see Germans coming into the forward as well, because it's so popular in Germany. But yeah, I think it's in good shape at the moment, snooker.
How important is experience at a big event like this, knowing what's on the line? Because Ben, he's a kind of experienced guy. This is not his first rodeo, but he's still 19.
Yeah, he's still very, very young. I mean, that's the great thing about it, isn't it? That he can come along. I think the worst thing you can do is worry about the prize money, not even think about it. Just go out and say, this is a great opportunity. It's a tiered structure. So he's not going to run into the top seeds until later on if he keeps progressing. But as we said, for all the players, it's a wonderful opportunity. But the worst thing you can do is think about what's on offer. Just go out and play your game. Don't think about anything else.
Well, there's an undeniable hub here. Everyone is really looking forward to it. We're also keeping ourselves up to date with all the scores, because there are 8 tables happening all concurrently. Just a reminder, you can watch them, whether it's on Discovery Plus in Europe, whether it's on Matchroom Live as well, or indeed other digital platforms throughout the world. So just a reminder, you can choose whichever match it is that you want. But as for us, we're going to be focusing on a fascinating one between Ben and Abdullah. So Ken, are you ready and ready to run over to the arena?
I'm ready.
This man is like a butcher's dog, it has to be said. So Ken's going to head off, but as for us, we can hand to Phil Yates.
Thank you very much, Radzi. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Ben Mertens is one of the most exciting young talents in the game. And of course, for his opponent, Abdullah Al-Yatani, what a big day it is. He's 22 years of age, highest break, 135. And he's from the city of Taif, the ancient city of Taif, which is on the slopes of the Hijaz Mountains. Population around 600,000. And this particular native of that city, I'm sure at the moment, is feeling a little nervous. Being thrust centre stage into a setting like this against a world-class opponent is not the easiest thing when you're short of experience.